Yo, I think you guys are gonna really, really, really like this one. At least the people that smoke and do things like that, because this is good. So, there have been times, right? All for any stoner, anyone that smokes, where you've been high in a situation where you don't want to be high in, right? Whether you got high and then had to do something, or there was an emergency, or whatever it is, right? But there's situations when you get just fried and you're in that moment, you're wishing anything but that. You're like, just let me get sober, please. Now, I'm not going to lie, because I've been smoking like every day since I was like 16, I don't mean, not every day, but you know what I mean. I don't really get baked anymore unless it's like dabs or something crazy, But there was a lot of them when I was younger. And the first one I can remember is me and my friend, right? We both split right after the dispensary opened here in Illinois. We split 100 milligram pack of cookies, right? 50 milligrams, which for someone who's never taken edibles, I would recommend maybe 10 to 20, If they're a little bigger, maybe 20 to start off with. But we just both pounded 50 down because we didn't know. We were like, let's just split it and kill it, And we were at my grandparents' house. And I knew that they had to drive us home, but that was like 4 hours away. It wasn't in my mind, I was just like, we're going to eat this, we're going to get high, and it's going to go away. I didn't know about edibles. So we ate those, and I got fucking, like, within probably an hour, I was high as fuck. And with edibles, it's like, it's almost like a trip, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like the time frame stuff. Because once it kicks your ass, like, you can get higher, but you're just going to be high as fuck, like, from the get-go, when it hits you. So it hits me, and I'm, like, getting a little bit hot, but I'm fucked. I'm, like eyes completely red, smiling. Like, if someone was talking to me, I'd be, like, like, completely gone. And eventually the time comes where we have to go in the car, to go with them. So we're in the car, and at this time, usually, my grandparents, they didn't really, they'd talk to us, but, there's not too much in common between super, super old people or people experienced in life and some, like, 16, 17-year-old little kids, So, for some reason, this night, my grandma wanted to talk to me about how her sister has a sickness and some random other stuff. Like, I think she had an elbow infection or something. Like, she was just telling me this stuff. And listen, under any other circumstance, my grandma's sister, my great aunt or whatever, I'm gonna listen. I care, But I'm high as fuck. This shit is hilarious to me. Like, I don't know what got into me, but, well, the weed got into me. That's what got into me, but I'm talking to them. They're talking. I am trying my hardest not to just fucking burst. Just laugh out loud, right? So, I just remember being so fucking high. I don't even remember the full car ride. All I remember is them talking to me a few times and me a couple times just being sitting there, right? Trying to look down. But the moment I'd, like, look over at my friend and we make eye contact, we just fucking lose it. Like, we just laugh our asses off. Just getting ourselves caught, And end up being fine. Another one, and I've told this story before, so I won't, tell a whole story about it. But that time that I had like 30 edibles going through the airport security, and we ate like 4 or 5 of them before we even like got to the airport. So going through security, I was high as fuck, and we forgot our phones. That was fun. But there's also been ones that, like real shitty situations, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of funny ones. Let me tell one more funny one before I tell the serious one. So I worked at Jimmy John's for a while, right? Like 8 months, just delivery. And usually what would happen for the delivery drivers, and if anybody works at Jimmy John's, you can probably vouch for this, the drivers don't do shit inside besides help clean up at the end of the night. And I live literally 5 minutes down the road from the Jimmy John's, right? And me and someone made these killer edibles, like just, you wouldn't know the milligram dosage. Like, we put in a shit ton of weed, reeked up the house, like it just got you high as fuck off like half a cookie. So usually what would happen though at Jimmy John's is I'd get back from my last delivery, we'd close at 10, I'd be home by 10:30, you know what I mean? So let's say it's around 10, right? I pop that whole cookie in my mouth, and I'm like, this bitch will kick in 40 minutes at the least. Like, at the least, I'll be home, you know what I mean? What happens? There's an emergency. We have to get bread. And then, yeah, I was high as fuck in Jimmy John's. And then there was one time where all of us were sitting, outside at my grandpa's, because that's kind of the party spot for us, where we hang out and smoke, party, get drunk, whatever. And we were sitting there getting high as fuck. Like, we rolled, I can't remember if it was 2 blunts or just 1, but there was 3 of us, and we got really, really high. And I hadn't smoked all day, so you know it really hit me. And we're sitting by this fireplace, you know, just chilling, having a great time. And we get a call that our fucking friend passed on, right? And it's like, damn. Like, and we got together and visited each other, you know? That's not a moment you want to be high as fuck at. That was inconvenient. But I hope you guys at least enjoyed the funny stories, you know? And if you have any stories, leave them in the comments, because that shit is hilarious to me. But thanks for listening.